How much credit do you give Jason Garrett for Cowboys' hot start, Max?
0.
Oh.
Nothing.
Okay.
The
Changed your
defense.
name?
Huh?
You changed your name?
What'd you know?
I thought she said Max.
I
Oh,
did.
I'm used to that
You
around
really
here.
did
Don't worry
that,
about
huh?
it.
No, I didn't.
He was just feeling like
swear
real
to God, I didn't
guilty.
hear.
Like, yeah.
I swear. I
Just
swear. I
go.
swear. I didn't hear. I just went. 0.
He's feeling a little nervous.
This answer 0. The defense, we know what they were from last year. Offensively, Kellen Moore is doing his thing. He's changed from what Scott Linehan was doing. End of discussion. Jason Garrett is a cheerleader. He's a glorified dude on behalf of Jerry Jones, who Jerry Jones is trying to decide whether or not I should give you a contract extension or not. Please.
He's kept the ship pretty steady most often. He deserves some credit for that. But Garrett has an overly conservative offensive philosophy. You see that especially. It's from last year. There was a play. They have Ezekiel Elliott to draft him 4th overall. He exceeds expectations. They're like around midfield. It's a 4th and 1, and they punt.
Texans.
Okay, I'm done with you, Garrett. Like, you do that, I'm done. But Kellen Moore has installed a much more dynamic offense. Dak is making all the plays. I second what Stephen A. said. It's Kellen Moore more than anything.
I said this morning in talking about Jason Garrett. When you have a large sample size of a guy and then something immediately changes, you never give him the credit because you say, okay, it has to be the change that they're made. You can look at LSU right now and what they're doing offensively. You bring in Joe Brady, and he's getting the credit over Coach Orgeron. I'll say this. If you're Jason Garrett, you have to be on board with the move from Scott Linehan to Kellen Moore, and being on board with that move and now saying, you know what, I also believe in Dak in a way where I'm going to allow Kellen to call plays that push the ball down the field. We look at Freddie Kitchens and we look at the situation in Cleveland and we want to give him some blame when Todd Monken is now the new offensive coordinator. But nobody's speaking of Todd Monken. It's Freddie Kitchens, Freddie Kitchens,
Well,
Freddie
you convinced
Kitchens.
me about Monken right away.
So we can't have it both ways and say, okay, Jason Garrett doesn't have anything to do with this. In looking at what Jerry Jones is saying, I won't speak about Jason Garrett's contract, I think it's because he has a certain level of success in mind that they have to reach in order for him to be the coach.
How many coaches would be doing a much worse job with this Cowboys roster right now?
I don't know if any. I don't know of any competent coach who would be, but I think that
we could say Jason Garrett's a mostly competent coach.
I think that does speak to his experience, his understanding about what he knows and doesn't know, and also the way that he's able, because what he has done is seem to rise up in important moments of his career, not necessarily the organization or the team. In the sense of 2014, he needed to come through with a great year, and he did that. Right? We now are in 2019. It seems to be that he has to come up with a great year in order to keep his job, and they're starting out 3-0, and I would think are the favorites to win the NFC. So he's at least
Garrett going to be here.
under
Garrett
pressure.
going to have the job next year?
Yes.
But Max,
He's
you're
got
about
the
to
best
say
O-line in the game. He's got the best linebacking core. He's got ends who can pressure you.
Have we always?
He's got guys who can cover. He got a lead wide out.
In the
Great
offseason,
running
when
back.
we were talking about the quarterback play,
MVP.
Nobody was saying that Dak was this guy. There was arguments made that Ezekiel Elliott should get paid before Dak because he was more important. We are no longer making that argument. So now all of us, like, we just can't have it both ways. You can't lean on one side. You have to be part of that process.
I said Jason Garrett would be there next year. I was joking.
What's wrong with you?
He'll be gone.
Oh my God!
Why do you take so much
Cheshire
enjoyment in
smile.
this stuff?
Well, I don't. Not about him.
Not about his job. It's about the Cowboys.
I just think that the Cowboys will rise and then collapse. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.